Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are going to be watching this short live video. I know so many of you will be wondering, oh, why now? Why am I coming out at this time? Yes, Talkback A9107. Yes, this is a short live video. Actually, I was trying to get some sleep as I'll be going to work early in the morning. But if you look at the the title that I've given this, it's titled warnings to world leaders, to nations leaders. Where do I begin? Because I need to be able to drive home my point very well, so that the message is not going to be one-sided to Africans or to our colonizers, where we are running to willingly now. It's going to be a balanced message, and then we're going to be drawing inferences from it. Now, before I make my point, every one of us know that we have always been crying on social media, and we even go to, or we have various sites all over the world where we have museums, we have various centers that when you go to these centers, it is only when you are strong-hearted, it's only when you are not really emotional that you will not weep when you hear the stories and you see various what do they call it, various equipment, various items, okay, that were left behind after the colonization or the Imunileru exercise that occurred all over Africa. For example, sometimes this year when I came to Nigeria, I decided to visit Ghana, Cape Coast in Ghana. You know, they call it Elmina Castle. I decided to go. So I called the attention of someone that I knew. I said, please, let's go together. I will pay for all the trips and whatever we will need. So we decided to go. And from the entrance, you will feel the spirits of our forefathers, of our ancestors, singing something from the entrance. It's not a place you will go to catch fun. No, it's not. So when you go in, you see the pictures of a great men, great African men. Okay, you will see a lot of them with different stories and everything. Then the instructor will get you guys ready to take you into the tunnels, into the rooms where they kept the slaves back then. So I remember at the entrance of that place, we have the picture of a former president of the United States of America, the first black president, the person of Barack Obama, and the wife and the kids, because they visited too. And it is only if you lack conscience that you will visit such a place and you will come out a normal human being. What about the one in Nigeria that is at Badagry? All those stories, whether there are things that you don't even want to see second time. Let me give you an example. When you go in through the tunnel, there are 5 sections, okay? And the sections were, how do I describe it? It's like a room that can only contain, if you choke them, can only contain like maybe 20. We were told that hundreds of our fathers were placed there, and they will keep them there, okay? They will keep them there, having just small hole for what we call ventilation, just small hole. They will shit there, they will poop there, and a lot of horrible things. So they sectionalized a small portion where people from all over the country could come if they want to come and get specimen for DNA test to even find their roots. So if you have been there before, you will understand what I'm talking about. And then we left there. They said they will keep them there for like 3-4 months in order to make them depreciate in body size, okay, so that they could pass through the tunnel that will lead them to door of no return. This is, I'm trying to build us up before I link to the point I want to make in this live video, because it's not going to be too long, so that I can go and sleep before work. When we got to where they kept our mothers, I thought I had seen it or heard it all at the male section. When we got to where our mothers were kept, it was there I broke down again. I broke down so much that, in fact, to go back to those videos on my phone gives me a kind of emotional breakdown at times, so I don't look at that video often. So we got to where they kept our mothers in readiness for shipment, because we were like commodities to the people that came to enslave us, okay? So they told me, or they told all of us in the same class, that our mothers will menstruate in that same dungeon. They will be kept there. Like that, any one of them that they would want to forcefully sleep with, they will bring the person out, and that is the only time the woman will shower. Now, after shower, the woman will go in to the people that were trading us or trading our lives for commodities or whatever. The guy will forcefully sleep with our mothers, and they will be sent back into that dungeon. If peradventure any one of them was pregnant, after delivery, they take the baby away from them. Then they also go through that tunnel, then through the door of no return, and they ship them. I were told that during shipment, if any one of them was pregnant, they threw them aboard into the sea. And finally, there was another room. They call it guard room. Any one of them that was like me, that would say, Rara, I would rather buy as a man than live like Eru. Okay? If they wanted to break out, I said, no, never, you cannot take me away from my father's house. There is a special room where they kept them. In this room, if we had 20 people there that would say, no, they will keep them there, and they will start dying one after the other. We were told that it is until the last person gives up ghost before they will begin to bring out their dead bodies into the sea. So if I upload the pictures, you will understand what I'm talking about. And lastly, the most bitter part of my experience there was that these people, they have a place where they said they are worshiping God. Okay? And there is no way you will be going into this church without looking into the hole. There is a hole just by the entrance. You will be seeing people in incarceration, the people that were tied down, getting them ready for shipment. And I begin to look at how the Bible adds up to all of these things. He said, you have brought Jesus. He is this, he is that, he sees us as one. You are going into a building to worship that God. But as you are to enter into that church, maybe to go and praise that God that He is God of all mankind, He is loving, He is this, He is that. You are looking down into the dungeon where human beings like yourselves are being tied down. And there is no iota of conscience in you to say that, what kind of God are you going there to worship when you're going to be using the name of this God to promote love, yet your whole human beings like yourselves are being tied down in that dungeon? And the only difference is that our superior skin color, yes, I'm saying that without any mistake, our superior color, the language we speak, our geographical location is what you will say that are different. If you cut the skin, you will see that all the components of the body, they are the same. Okay? From head to toe. It's just the things that come out from the heart that can be different, which makes me to say today that there are two tribes of mankind, the good one and the bad ones. You can begin to decide which tribe you belong when you consider the things that are coming out from your heart. Now, after laying this foundation of what, just few examples of what that business was in those days, today, when we see posts of racism, of slavery and everything, our emotions are high. And we begin to get angry. We begin to do this, do that and everything. I want to let you to calm down today. Because it is the question of what we have been able to do with the experiences that our forefathers had. Are we putting their experiences to shame, or we are elevating their shame? Okay, why am I talking like this? So many of you will remember that we did something in biology, which is evolution, under which we have the concept of the ecosystem. So before you get to ecosystem definition, they will explain what evolution means. That as a result of changes in weather, time, and so many factors, there will always be creation or procreation of new offsprings from a particular parent. Okay, that is why, baby, in those days, the Stone Age, we had dinosaurs, we had a lot of animals and whatever. There were gigantic human beings that were but as a result of changes in time and weather and a lot of things, those features started changing. So evolution is actually the creation of new offsprings from parents, and the various changes we will see in the offsprings will be as a result of changes in so many factors, weather being one of them. Now, under this topic, they talk about survival of the fittest. If you remember, survival of the fittest. In that survival of the fittest, when you have the trees planted, you will notice that all of them will be struggling to show positive phototropism for survival. Okay? And a lot of other things that are included in that subtopic, which is a survival of the fittest. Okay? As those plants begin to struggle for water, mineral salt, and water view. Now, This message is to all Africans. Either you migrated or you were naturally born into a foreign country. Irrespective of the two, you can never forget that you have a root somewhere. I am going somewhere with this illustration. The question I'm asking us today is, with all of these experiences in the past, are we showing forth good energy that is required for our survival as a continent? Because what these people did, they made a move. They were not sure where they were going. They just decided to make a move. And they will travel all the way overseas, only for few of them to come and bondage a whole continent. It is still a big mystery to me today. But one of the factors that have helped me to understand part of the mysteries is that the lizard can never go into a wall if the wall has not opened its mouth. So if there are so many factors responsible for our being incarcerated, our being enslaved, it is because there was no oneness in our forefathers. Because from history, you might not have been told that even brothers will because of mirror, will because of wine, will because of items sell brothers. How many of you remember this movie, The Narrow Path by Uncle Tunde Kilani? The Narrow Path, that the guy slept with the lady because of mirror or because of Saturday night powder. I hope you are understanding it now. So what they carried out was survival of the fittest. That at the end of the day, they sat down and they said, what will become of our children if we continue to live like this without going over the board for them? And they did that and they succeeded, and they are still succeeding. So I'm asking us today, as a people of color, what energy are we outputting to make sure that our survival of the fittest struggle is well enhanced, not only because of us, but are we thinking about how our offsprings will live their lives where we might have gone? That aside, this question should go to all African leaders who are shamefully African politicians, who either they were learned or or illiterate, like many of them in Nigeria. Where do we begin to ask these leaders questions about tomorrow? Unfortunately, even from the ecological niche of a family, you know what they call ecological niche? A place that any living thing can call a home. Just like maybe under the stone now, you find a crab. Under that stone is the ecological niche of that crab or a small fish. Now, in an ecological niche of human beings that we can call family, we have seen a lot of times that parents do not even love their own children. How can such parents even appreciate the kids of others? One, when you see all our environment, what exactly is the importance of our leaders from time immemorial, since independence of each African nation? Let me now go to the people who thought that their survival of the fittest is still working. That is why I call it a warning to the world leaders. Consider this. Currently, in foreign countries, I remember about 12 years, 13 years when I left or when I traveled. When you wanted to see a specialist due to health issues, immediately you will see. In Canada, you will see your specialist, you will see your doctor, you do. Today, you can be on the waiting list for another 2, 3, 4 months. You have not been able to get a call from the person that will attend to you, unless if you are having an emergency. You can ask around if I am lying. When you go to other sectors, you will notice that there are vacancies already being created in different sectors. And why are these vacancies or vacuums being created? One, people are getting old and they are retiring. Number two, death, which nobody can escape. Number three, lack of passion again for that particular career. And that is why maybe abroad now, I can wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, this, maybe I'm into oil and gas, I'm tired of it. I want to go for radiography or sonography or whatever, because I'm not having interest in what I'm doing again. So that also creates vacuum, and a lot of other reasons. And gradually, the leaders of first world nations, they are so wicked in their hearts that they themselves presume that they are killing the dog. Just like this parasite, they said, the parasite presumes that it is killing the dog. Meanwhile, it is itself that it is killing. I will explain that. They will have forgotten that ikun jepa, ikun ready, ikun mo pe ohun to dùn ló ń pa ni. When the parasite is done consuming the dog, what is left for them to eat? And immediately the dog gives up. It will decompose. It goes back into what we call what is this cycle? Carbon cycle of the world. Finally, the parasites too, as a result of lack of food, they give up. So you understand that proverb now, that the parasites are killing themselves, but they are presumed that they are killing the dog. This is the scenario, this is the case with respect to the current world leaders. Because why? Because they are senseless, and it is not because they are only senseless, because of the wickedness of their hearts. I will tell you, that's why I'm speaking English, so that they will understand my message. The reason why their nations were able to stand till maybe about 5-10 years ago, because it's not the same story. Things are changing so fast. The only reason why these countries developed like we are seeing is because so many Africans, they were brought from Africa. They helped in building these nations. History has been truncated, and they will never tell you the true inventors of so many of these things we're enjoying today. Are you understanding my talk? They will never tell you that so many of these things we're enjoying that we call technology, they were actually invented by many of our forefathers. So if you're out there as a result of you defending Christianity or Islam, you are of the class that says that after all, they brought civilization, they brought technology. It is the biggest lie from the pit of wherever it is coming from. Because our forefathers started their own technological advancement before they came. Were they the ones that taught our forefathers how to plant, how to make their own food? Were our forefathers not making sanyo, ofi, hero, and all of that? Were our forefathers not building roofs over their own head? What are the basic needs of life? Food, clothing, and shelter. Were our forefathers, due to hunting activities, were they not making Dane guns? Now imagine if they did not come to truncate that development. Imagine where Africa will be today. So if you are one of those people from my continent and you are being made to feel inferior to them, I am encouraging you today. Please, you are someone that should be seen on a high hierarchy, on a high level. That is how I carry myself. No matter who you are, with your color, I go show you, say, my forefathers transmitted something into me. Something we then call IQ and brain.